A letter arrived at a newspaper office. The man who wrote it claimed to have killed 100 children. And yet, you've probably never heard this story. But tonight, you will. And by the time you reach the end, you'll wish you never pressed play. Only a psycho person would praise today's video. If you enjoy listening to today's story, I'm telling you honestly, you are mentally very ill. You need a doctor. Go get yourself treated. After watching the full video, you will feel nothing but regret and remorse. By the time you reach the end of the video, you'll wonder why you even watched it. And yes, kids, please stay away from this video. I'm not putting any restrictions, but if you want to watch it, sit down with your parents. Don't make the mistake of watching it alone. Today, even adults will have their minds shaken. You're just kids after all. But today, you'll get nothing except regret. On the 22nd November 1999, in Lahore, Pakistan, a very heavy parcel was delivered to the office of daily newspaper. As soon as the parcel was opened, photos scattered all over the office. There was also a letter and a diary inside that parcel. Something so horrifying was written in that letter that chief editor froze while reading it and began trembling in fear. That letter described a massacre. Who did it? Why and how? Along with evidence, everything was written in it. And the sender had also written in the letter,
"I'm not sending this letter to the police, but to you, because the police won't take this matter seriously. They'll cover up the matter, so no one will ever find out anything. That's why I'm writing everything to you with full evidence, so you can inform the people of Pakistan about this crime."
The chief editor of Daily Jang News immediately instructs a crime reporter there to investigate this matter. He said to him,
"Brother, what is going on? Find out who sent this letter and why. Is this person some kind of lunatic?"
He was a crime reporter after all. He always needed news for the paper. And now, the news had come walking right up to him. So why wouldn't he take interest? He immediately headed toward the address mentioned in the letter. But when he reached that address, he saw that it was locked with a padlock. Still, he climbed over the wall of the house. And as soon as he got inside, he saw around 80 to 85 pairs of children's slippers lying there. It was a very horrifying scene. When he went a bit further, he saw a sack lying there stuffed full of clothes. As soon as he turned his gaze to the wall, the same photos that had come with the letter were stuck there. He went a little further inside and saw some drums lying in the adjacent room. Somehow, he managed to open them, but what he saw inside those drums made his soul tremble. The scene was so terrifying, so horrifying, it felt like his heart would burst out of his chest. Nothing was different. Everything was exactly as described in the letter. But what exactly was in those drums that even the crime reporter ended up in such a state? When he opened the drum, you can't even imagine what condition he was in. There were bones in it. Even his hands got burned while opening it. If you're young and you've made it this far into the story, think again. Whether you really want to continue the video, take your time to think. The 17th September 1998, Lahore, Pakistan, around 2 a.m. A man named Javed Iqbal was sleeping peacefully in his room. Suddenly, someone struck him 3 to 4 times on the head with the butt of a gun. The attackers smashed his head open and fled. Blood began to pour continuously from Javed's skull until he eventually lost consciousness. The next morning, a man from Javed's neighborhood entered the house, and he saw Javed lying unconscious on his bed, soaked in blood and in terrible condition. He shouted for help. Neighbors came rushing in, and were stunned by the horrifying scene they now stood in. No one had any hope that he would survive. He remained in the hospital for about 9 weeks, and whenever he regained even a bit of consciousness, he would see his mother's crying face. Her face so swollen from tears, it was barely recognizable, and seeing her in that state, it filled him with a rage that burned deep inside. Javed's mother was completely shattered. Watching her son in such a half-dead condition was too much for her to bear. She couldn't take it, and within a few days, she passed away. And when Javed finally recovered and returned home, he learned that the one who gave him birth, who raised him, his beloved mother, had left him alone forever. After his mother's death, Javed went completely insane. That's when he made a decision. Just like his mother cried for him, in the same way, he would make them cry too. Just like his mother had suffered in agony for him, he would make them suffer too. Javed was born in Lahore in 1961. He was the 6th of his parents' 8 children. Javed's father was quite wealthy and a well-known figure in the area. Since childhood, Javed had been a very stubborn type of child. If he wanted something, then he had to get it, and the family had to bring that thing for him, no matter what. After completing college, Javed's father started a scrap iron business for him. But Javed only hired young boys at his business, especially children, because children could be paid less in salary. But there was also a bigger reason behind hiring young children. You see, Javed was interested in young boys, not women, and he suffered from a disturbing psychological condition. Javed harbored deeply disturbing urges toward young boys. Whenever his family talked to him about marriage, he would refuse, because he couldn't reveal the truth that he had no interest in girls. His secret obsession was something far more disturbing. He tried his best to avoid marriage. Still, under pressure from his family, he was forced to marry, but the marriage didn't last more than a year. His wife left him and went back to her parents' home. Now he was completely alone, but his disgusting actions didn't stop. To ease his loneliness, he began luring children from the streets, bringing them into his home, where something far more disturbing awaited. He would exploit innocent children, and in return, he offered them food and good clothes. But when a religious organization came to know about his vile and disgusting acts, they stormed into his house and began vandalizing it. However, Javed managed to escape from their hands. But the police were still searching for him, and a few days later, the police found him. As punishment, he was sentenced to 6 months in jail and 100 lashes. It's important to remember these lashes because they are a crucial part of this story. So, remember that. As soon as he got out of jail, Javed's father got him married again. But the same thing happened again. That marriage also didn't last long. Sometime later, Javed's father suddenly passed away one day, and in inheritance, Javed received a substantial amount of wealth. With that money, he bought a house and he opened a video game shop for children to come and play. All the kids from the neighborhood would crowd around Javed's shop to play games, and this is exactly what Javed wanted. Javed began taking advantage of the children's innocence. When the kids were busy playing games, he would deliberately drop a 100 rupee note on the ground. He would hope that some child out of greed would pick up the note. As soon as the note went missing, he would line up all the kids and take them one by one into a private room where he would search them. During the search, he would subject them to deeply inappropriate and disturbing behavior, exploiting their innocence. This routine of his went on for a long time. Luring them with just 100 rupees, he kept committing wrong acts with those children. But all these activities started costing him a lot. and his money started running out. Because of this, he sold the house he had purchased. After selling the house, he started living in a rented home at 16B Ravi Road in Lahore. Now he only targeted those children who had no one to ask about them, or those who had already run away from home. Most of the children he picked up from roadside or places like bus stands. He would bring them home under the pretense of giving them work. But those children had no idea what was about to happen to them. There he would take advantage of those innocent children, and the poor kids could do nothing about it. They were forced to endure everything because they were getting food and a roof in return. And under the burden of this so-called favor, they remained silent. Javed used to feed them full meals. He had even especially kept a TV just for the children. Javed definitely exploited those boys, but until then he had never killed a single boy. Then came that night, 17th September 1998. He brought 2 small boys to his home under the excuse of giving him a massage. But he started doing inappropriate acts with those children, just like he did with the others. But he didn't know that these 2 children were going to turn his entire world upside down. Yes, these were the same 2 children who smashed Javed Iqbal's head like a melon using the butt of a gun that night. This incident proved to be the turning point in Javed's life, because during this time, he saw his mother's crying face in the hospital. And then just a few days later, he lost his mother forever. He lost everything and all because of those 2 boys. His mother cried, and the reason was also those 2 boys. Javed was so furious with those 2 boys that he became possessed by the spirit of revenge. He decided that he would take revenge through 100 children, and then he began the dance of death.
I will make 100 mothers cry, just like my mother cried for me. All those mothers would suffer the same way, like my mother suffered for me.
It was the month of May in the year 1999, and this was the time when Javed began his mission. And in just 147 days, he made 100 children disappear from all over the Lahore. After bringing the children home, the first thing he did was take their photos. He would feed them their favorite food. Then he would begin his disgusting acts, and he would keep them with him for as long as he wanted. And when he got tired of them, he would strangle them mercilessly with a chain. But he didn't stop there. After killing them, he would chop the bodies into small pieces. Then he would dump those pieces into acid-filled drums so that the pieces would dissolve completely in the acid. Look, there's a lot more that could be said, but I won't reveal any of that openly on camera. So I'm extremely sorry for that, because maybe those innocent young eyes are also watching this video. It might affect them negatively. So let's get back to the topic. After execution of those young boys, Javed would document the incident in his personal diary. And on the photo of each boy he killed, he would write a number. He numbered them to track which victim was which, just to making it easier to count. And he continued this horrifying work until he had murdered 100 young boys. Yes, 100 young boys. He was the Lahore-based serial killer who shook the entire Pakistan. When ordinary people came to know about this devil, they were so frightened that they hesitated to even send their children to school. Now, let's return to the letter that was sent to the office of daily newspaper. You'll be shocked to know that the person who sent the letter, the one who exposed Javed Iqbal's horrifying acts, was none other than Javed Iqbal himself. What's even more shocking is that before sending the letter to the Daily Jang office, Javed had already sent a letter to the police. The police had even gone to his house, but the police thought he was just a madman or mentally unstable. They believed a fool like him could never do such a thing. The police treated it as a joke and dismiss the entire case. Now look, after being so quickly ignored by the police, Javed became furious. He thought, damn it, I've committed such massive crimes, by now my name should be in the headlines. And he thought, this won't work. The entire Pakistan won't know anything about me. So to make his name known, he turned to daily news, and he sent them a very large and heavy parcel filled with all the evidence. That large parcel contained numerous photographs and a letter. In that letter, he wrote,
I'm not sending this letter to the police, but to you, because the police won't take this matter seriously. They will hush the matter up, and no one will ever come to know the truth. I have accomplished the purpose I set out to fulfill, and now I want to surrender. I want to get punished according to the law, but no one believes me. That's why I'm going to jump into the Ravi River and commit suicide.
From Javed Iqbal's house, children's clothes, shoes, and toys were also recovered. When this news hit the headlines and appeared on the front page of the newspaper, Pakistan's brave police lost their sleep. The ground slipped from beneath their feet. After that, Pakistan's brave and honest police searched the entire Ravi River, but Javed Iqbal was missing. The search operation continued for 1 month, but there was no sign of Javed. Then one day on the 30th December 1999, a man covering his face with cloth appeared at the office of Daily News. He said, I know where Javed Iqbal is. He said Javed Iqbal is still alive, and he's afraid that the police will kill him on sight. So if you news people can protect him, Javed Iqbal himself will come forward to surrender, and that too in your office. The chief editor of Daily Newspaper told him, look, we will do our best from our side. Now tell us, where is Javed Iqbal? Then that man slowly removes the cloth from his face and says, my name is Javed Iqbal. I am that one. But within a short time, the police arrived there and arrested him.
Just suppose, what if tomorrow, out of the ones you claim to have killed, 3 or 4 children return to their homes?
No one will come back.
How can you claim none will return?
When Javed Iqbal was presented in court, there was no sign of remorse on his face. In fact, he was happy and kept laughing, which you can even see in this video footage. Look carefully at this monster. Looking at his face, who could say that he killed 100 children? And when it was time for the sentence, the judge present there pronounced such a terrifying punishment that no judge in the history of the world had ever pronounced before.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, Javed, due to your own confession, since you have admitted to the crime, you shall, in front of the parents of those 100 children, be strangled to death with the same type of chain, made to suffer just like them. And then his body shall be chopped into small pieces, and the number of those pieces must be exactly 100. And then those 100 pieces must be put into acid, and all of this must be done in front of the victim's parents.
Upon hearing this, Javed was absolutely terrified. But before the sentence could even be carried out, Javed became so frightened, he started remembering those moments when he executed those children, chopped them, and threw them into the drum. Now, those same things were going to happen to him. On hearing that, he urinated in his pants out of fear. And one day, Javed Iqbal used his pajama string inside the jail too. But now look, an important question whose answer you might have been waiting for since the beginning of the video. I will now tell you that question and its horrifying answer, one that will truly shake you. Before that, I want to give a message to all parents. Please make sure to educate your children, boys or girls, about good touch and bad touch, so that God forbid, if someone ever tries to do something like this to your child, they can openly come forward and tell you everything. Stay cautious, because when caution is lost, tragedy strikes. Now, Let's come to that important question you've wanted the answer to since the beginning. The children Javed Iqbal murdered. Why did he specifically choose the number 100? That number 100. Wait a minute.
Why didn't you kill 200 children? Why just 100? You were seeking revenge, right? You were avenging...
I still had enough money to continue the series.
How much money? What if tomorrow, 3 or 4 of the ones you claim to have killed returned to their homes? Then all your claims, right?
No one will come back.
How can you say no one will?
What came into his mind that he didn't kill 101, nor did he stop at 99? Why did he specifically choose this number? Perhaps if you remember? I had asked you earlier to remember those lashes. Yes, 100 lashes repaid with the lives of 100 innocents. So, now you know the truth. Not just the crimes, but the silence, the missed signs, the overlooked screams, the system that turned away. Evil didn't wear a mask here. It walked in daylight with a smile. If this story disturbed you, and if it made you think, then you must act. Subscribe to Let's Discover, because the world is full of hidden horrors, and someone must keep uncovering them. Until next time, stay aware, stay safe, stay human. Good night.